Okay, so let me talk a little bit about this process of citing your sources in the essay. Making a citation of whatever, articles, statistics, whatever you used as your points of evidence, uh, you need to cite on what's called a works cited page. And you can find the example or find an example of this in my sample essay. Now, the next video I make will go more into detail about how this is actually done, and I'll have some, I'll throw up my essay onto the screen, and you can kind of look at how the process actually works. But in this video, I just wanted to quickly talk about the idea in general. So I guess 3 points. First of all, as a teacher, I'm not going to be super hard on you for if you make some mistakes in this process of citing your sources for your essay. That's okay. What I really want to see is that you made a good faith effort, that took a real stab at making this works cited page at the end of the essay that will tell me what sources you used for your essay. So, in other words, grade wise, it would be a big mistake to turn in your essay without a works cited page. But if you have a works cited page that is pretty accurate, maybe has some mistakes in it, that's not going to hurt your grade. Does that make sense? So I want people to engage with the process of making these citations more than getting it 100% correct. Because I know students, they do suffer with this. Anyone from people just straight out of high school to people that are older going back to school, they just do not enjoy this process. And it is a pain in the butt. So that brings us to my second point. Why do we do this? For two reasons, I would say. The first reason is the official reason for citations, which is to provide some proof of where you're getting your information from. It's to show the reader that you're not just completely making stuff up and lying, right? So it introduces this process of citing things, introduces some accountability into the process of writing essays. Now, you could say in a class like ours, is anyone else ever going to read your essays other than me? Probably not. Maybe a few friends would. Does it matter that much that your sources are accurate for a midterm paper in a college writing class? In a way, no. It's not an article that's going out to a national magazine that 75,000 people will read and debate about. Right? You can see how there's more pressure in that situation to be accurate, to not have fudged any facts, to show people where your information came from. But at our level, the point is to just do the exercise of showing that you take responsibility for your own facts. Does that make sense? Even though very few people are going to read your essay, even though you're not going to be on the front page of the New York Times and have people scream at you if you got something wrong. It's almost a responsibility to yourself. Are you making stuff up, or are you being a rational, reasonable person that's looking outside of yourself to the world to find some information to back up your thesis sentence? So in a way, it's about personal honor. I don't know if this is stressed enough when we write these essays. I feel like most people just want to get through the essay, get through MLA citation, and be done with it. But it's sort of asking yourself, can I, in my own little way, have a thesis sentence and look out in the world, find some proof for it, and present this in a paper and say, here's the reason you should believe what I'm saying. Like, it has backup in the real world. And I don't know, I was thinking about how to make a sort of an analogy for what this process is. If I came to you and told you, hey, I have a briefcase with $1 million in it in my barn. you would probably wonder if there really was a briefcase, right? And, there might be, there might not, but there'd be no better proof than actually going with me to the barn and seeing the briefcase with $1,000,000 in it, right? So in a way, that's what a citation is. It's like taking the reader straight to the source of where you got the information and saying, see, it's really here. So you write your essay, and then you have this list of works cited at the end, and that is information that your reader can use if they want to go on the internet and find where you got your information from. So that's the basic idea that's behind why we do citations in these college papers. But let me also make a second point about why we do them. And this isn't one that you'll hear many English teachers talk about. I think it's a good exercise to go through because it's a pain in the butt. It forces you to really kind of take a moment, look at how it's done, MLA format, look at my sample essay, and I'll put up another video or two about how to do it from YouTube. And to kind of very carefully and conscientiously follow through this system of how citation is done. It's just a good activity for, well, in a way, it's a skill that college should teach us. It's not related to any specific subject. It's not math. It's not sociology. It's just this idea of being conscientious and careful and able to follow a long, complicated series of instructions conscientiously, even though it's kind of boring to do it. Like, that's actually an incredibly important skill for whatever jobs you may be heading to out of college. That is management. Management means, writing emails that don't anger people or don't seem ignorant or emotional or irrational. Say you have to write an incident report at work about an accident that happened. These are the types of things where that skill of being conscientious, thinking about what you're writing, following the format, all of those things come into play in these real world times where you may use writing. Trying to think, in a way, there's an element of it that's like doing taxes. Like, no one likes doing taxes. No one wants to do taxes. No one wants to pay taxes. But if you do them right, carefully, conscientiously, and correctly, notice that you'll never have any problems with the IRS. There's another analogy. We can leave debates about whether we're taxed too much for another class or one of your essays. Okay, so I think those are 3 good points to keep in mind about citation, meaning, first of all, I'm not going to be super hard on you about doing it correctly. I just want to really see you make an effort to do it correctly. There is a difference there. The main reason that we do citations to kind of offer a proof is in the pudding to our reader, to offer some intellectual responsibility to our reader. And then this last point about conscientiousness, about how in college, you want to start thinking about your assignments that you hand in as a reflection of yourself. Are you showing your teacher that you're organized, that you can cross your T's and dot your I's, that you can do all 10 steps of something that requires 10 steps, as opposed to just doing 6 of them? Very common problem with students when they first arrive in college is putting in effort, putting in, time on their classes. They care about them, but they leave the last few steps of an assignment undone. So citation's an exercise in exercising that part of the brain, I would say. All right, so now I'll end this video, and in the next video, we'll take a more in-depth look at how you actually make citations. Bye.